Welcome to Netflix. For English, press 1 or stay on the line.
Para español, oprima 5.
For faster service, log into Netflix.com and find the 6-digit service code located at the bottom of any Netflix.com webpage. Enter your service code now.
What?
Your call will be answered in about 1 minute. Calls may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance purposes.
Thank you for calling Netflix. My name is Haley. How can I help you?
Hi, Haley. I'm just trying to figure out why you guys don't like white people anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, as far as that particular show, I can't comment on anything like that because I only handle the technical side of Netflix, but I am happy to take any feedback that you have.
Well, I mean, I hate myself because I'm a white male, and I hate myself.
Okay, well, I can take any feedback that you have based on the show that we are going to be releasing here. Can I get your email address to pull up the account?
No, I just want to say that I hate myself too. Like I'm with you. Tell them I'm with them.
Did you tell her about the white guilt?
Oh, shut up, Bob. Hold on. I mean, I've got a lot of it, and that's where I was just trying to say. Like, I think I can tell you why I have problems, but I think you guys are onto something, you know.
All right, well, let me go ahead and get somebody that will be able to assist you with getting the rest of the information. Just give me 1 moment.
I hate myself.
She's like, I can't comment on that particular show.
Yeah.
So you know how many people must have called them already to complain and disconnect services and cancel?
So that tells you. I really did. I literally called that number just to find out. And I'm sorry that my camera's terrible right now and everything. I'm upstairs recording on my laptop. The kids are all downstairs in my studio room. Yeah, but since I just wanted to find out, what the temperature is like over there, and clearly it's they're getting inundated with calls.
Yeah, it's definitely of a volatile nature for sure. If that's their default response, and they want to find a way to contact people, and I mean, we're obviously doing it as a guffin and a laugh, but seriously, like you said, to find out how people are reacting, we wanted to take it right to corporate themselves and see. And my God, can you imagine, like you said, how inundated with calls they must have been just continuing? Like I said the other day, it was supposedly reported over 20,000 people canceling their membership.
That's insane. I saw a lot of people canceling it. I haven't yet. I want to see what the response is. We'll find out what their response is. I'm not one of these. See, I'm not like I am not really a crybaby. Like we talked about, what we thought about the title yesterday, and we talked about the impact that it has and all these other things. But I'm not really a crybaby. I really wouldn't be like, stop this or I'm canceling. I mean, but at the same time, if they didn't respond to it correctly, I might. And so far, have they said anything? Do we even know what they've said?
I've heard mixed things. I'm trying to, trying to verify and find out exactly if they have a PR response.
Netflix. Somebody wrote in the comments, Netflix and no chill.
I mean, one of the issues is that supposedly one of the writers for the original movie expressed how much that he despised white people. Then I guess another co-writer had said something about being a neo-Nazi. I don't know. It's very convoluted and misleading. But that 30-second trailer has sparked such a backlash.
It's a white lash. It's another one of those white lashes that happens. That's what this is. It's a white lash, Jake. What did that guy with Von Miller? What is that guy on what is it, ESPN or MSNBC or one of those I don't know. Look what I just can't believe that they thought that this trailer was going to work in the climate that we're in with what's going on with I mean basically I think Donald Trump got elected because people thought they were under attack. I mean, number one, that's the first thing. People are sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I think the media led them to
sick
believe that they were under attack.
Right.
And when the movie was in theaters back in 2014, I believe, it never created this much controversy. The problem with the show is that the issues that we addressed the other day in the first video aren't even really main subjects or themes of the show. They edited this trailer, I think, intentionally knowing that it was going to cause an outrage.
Right.
I don't think they got the response they were hoping to get with people canceling their subscription. But the trailer, featuring white people about to have a type of Halloween costume party with blackface on, in the original movie was barely an issue that was just grazed over quickly.
Well, in my opinion, they also stereotype black people as going to the party and attacking it and breaking everything. It's like, so what? So if you don't agree with that, you're going to go to the party and blow it all up? So they basically were like, hey, Black Lives Matter. This is like you. If you don't agree with something, go and just start burning it down. I mean, that's burn the whole fucking thing down if you don't agree with it. It's like...
Exactly. I mean, the tweet of the one gentleman talking about how this compares to the promotion of white genocide has over 10,000 likes and 5,000 retweets. I mean, there's definitely people that feel that this is attacking them. And if that's what they set out to, their intended goal, they definitely achieved it. But the problem is that what people aren't grasping, if this was Dear Black People, I'd be just as, I don't want to say offended because that's not the right word, but
no, I would
concerned.
I would be concerned. Yeah, that's a good point. Because so this guy's, basically it's his experience is, I was at this college and these are the types of goofy things that I saw white people do. Well, if I was, and I suppose it's really, it would be like if I was at if I decided to go to an area and stereotype black people and say, Dear Black People, any stereotype about them, and then say, Dear Black People. Like, I mean, unfortunately, look at the terrible comments. And this is the comments by white people, too. Unfortunately, on the video, many white people say, I don't like this. This seems like racist to me. Dear white people, I don't like it. Then there's black people saying the same thing. We don't agree with this. Stop this. Stop doing this crap. We're done with this. Black people have woken up. White people have woken up. So many people have woken up. However, there still is that nasty side of the internet that's on there. There's white people that are saying the N-word and stuff about, so like, oh yeah, well I'm going to make a Dear Black People where nobody has a dad and they kill each other. So there's lots of like that stuff going on. Then there's some black people that are like, well, this is what white men have been doing for hundreds of years and stuff. So it's like you still, even though you have most of us who are just sick of this crap, there is also a majority that think there's nothing really wrong with the movie at all and that people are overreacting. But then there's also that group again of like the racist people. Like when you have a couple black guys who are like, I'm sick of this. This isn't what white people are like. And then right below that, there's a supposed white guy or internet troll or whatever who writes, this is why we need to hang people, it's something terrible. So you just have to kind of ignore that side, but still notice that they're there, because I would never write something like that. But a lot of these times, these trolls, they're like 12-year-old kids. You know what I mean? And if 8 years from now, that 12-year-old kid probably will be nothing like this, or maybe he will grow up to be a piece of crap. It's just like the kids who abducted the special needs kid, though, and they tried to say, most people saw that as a hate crime. This is a hate crime. But then, the other side, all of a sudden CNN didn't think it was a hate crime. CNN thought, oh, these are just kids that are confused. Well, if it was the other way and they're white kids, they wouldn't be confused. They would be a hate crime.
Exactly. And one of the issues I also take to this is that, one of the names they decided to basically label you and I as is now broflakes. It's basically anybody that complains about the special snowflakes, in air quotes, but themselves are overly sensitive about issues. And that's bullshit too.
I think everybody, you know what? I'll kind of step into that. I think everybody now is capable of being triggered, because There is, I think we've included everybody now. To be honest, Jake, I think there were a few months back, or a year back, or 2 years back, where, we used to make fun of snowflakes and things like that. But I think now everyone has become triggered about everything because everyone's had to. You've had to get in on it. You've just had to.
I can agree with you there. I mean, I laughed when people said, "Oh, I need a safe space to learn with everything that happened." We had these
that's the thing,
institutions
Jake,
demanding.
Jake, that's the thing. They do need a safe space. We don't need a safe space. We don't. It's the opposite. It's not. You're right. It's not a bro flake. You need a safe space. You want to stop other people from talking, so that you can't get your opinion out there. I don't want to stop anybody. I told you I have not canceled my Netflix subscription. I have given Netflix some shit about it and said, "Dear white people, what the fuck does that mean?" And the reason is because there's an agenda. There's a national agenda for this. So that's why we're bringing it up. It's not like it's out of the thin air that this is going on. So if I was a snowflake, I would be crying that I can't watch Netflix anymore. But I do agree with you that there are people, if there's people out there that are like, I'm canceling my Netflix and I'm under attack and oh God, maybe that does go to their point. But I'm not one of those. I'm just going to say, hey, listen, make whatever you want, motherfucker. I'll stop watching if you're going to be assholes, though. We'll figure it out.
Even if they made a show saying "Dear Fat People Named Jake," I still wouldn't cancel my Netflix, subscription. I have no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess my brain doesn't. Adapt to those. I just adapt to those situations. I try not to harbor on those bad feelings, but I understand what it's like to be ostracized and attacked over something. No, my skin might be white, but as I just said, I'm overweight and I've dealt with that issue my entire life, whether it be for physical or medical reasons, either or. It's still something to be picked on about. Granted, I didn't have black skin. I'm not Asian. I'm not Mexican or Puerto Rican. So a form of race doesn't apply, but I can still relate on some level what it's like to be criticized for being different. And that's one of the things that I so desperately want to see change about this day and age. And this is going to sound so stereotypical and so, just borderline mental, but the fact that we had a black president, but I felt like 8 years ago we were progressing so much, and everything this past year and a half with the start of the election has caused us not only to regress, but to just change in such a way that's so negative towards each other. It's impossible to fathom where we went wrong. I know the media is a great influence on things. Social media is an even worse influence, having that anonymity, no repercussions for people's unfiltered words and actions. And, I don't know how it can be fixed from here. That's my worry, is I don't see an outcome in which we make things better from this point.
Yeah, and although I think there was a lot of things Obama did all right, I think he actually hurt race relations. He almost sort of stood to the side about it. And whenever he was asked about anything, he didn't equal. He just basically talked about how there was still problems, with the black community, but he never responded to any of this social justice type of stuff.
That is true.
Which is basically trying to tell you, just look at the MTV video, right? Look at the MTV video and look at a lot of the language out there. A lot of the language from these social justice warriors and these early 20s, mid-20s loudmouth idiots is, you're white. You have no opinion. Shut up. You have no right to speak. You're white. What? So that is the scariest thing that you could possibly say from me. And yeah. It doesn't matter what color I am. If I ever hear anybody say a black person has no right to speak, just be quiet. They need to be quiet. If I hear anything about any race, that is crazy. If you say that, you're a fucking Nazi. You're like one step away from being, and there's probably words for it, like Dave Rose would tell me, like Marxist and all these other words. But the fact of the matter is, if you think any group of people just needs to shut up and go away or needs to be silent, there's something wrong with you. And I
absolutely,
I've heard it from the other side.
And fascists, and yeah,
you are actually what you are saying. Everybody else is. You actually are. Like, to be honest,
exactly. But the headline that reads right now says, dear white people, trolls are calling the Netflix show racist. So because any person that's white is upset, over this entire situation is a troll. But yet, if it was Dear Black People, they would say, Dear Black People, offends an entire nation. They would turn the tables and make it of a more sympathetic plight.
Right.
But for us, we have to be trolls and snowflakes, broflakes.
That's the point.
We can't be
That's the
viewed
point.
as people.
That's
why
we're mad.
I'm defending your point here.
If this was 2 years ago and I saw the show Dear White People, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, oh, whatever, and I go on to my thing. My point is, I hate double standards. By the way, click the subscribe button down below if you haven't. Don't miss out on our daily videos about news like this. Be part of the discussion. Be part of the show. Also, hit us up on Twitter at ShameOnNews. And make sure you click that red subscribe button and the bell to get alerts when we make new videos. And share these videos wherever you can. That way we can get exposure. And if you want to support, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. That's my Patreon for my other channel. That's where it all goes to help fund the shows that I do. But no, the point is that I have a hatred for a double standard. I can't stand it. It's like I'm like Marty McFly in Back to the Future. There's two things that set me off: a double standard. I'm sick, so excuse me if you're wondering why I'm all snotty and gross. A double standard, and when someone says that I did something that I didn't, I freak out, I get dangerously upset. And it's happened before that I've been called out on something. Like one time I was accused of stealing something in a store. I accidentally took 8 spark plugs to deliver to a customer. I was a delivery guy. This was like 15 years ago. And I took 8, and they were like, oh, there's been a theft problem here. They were like, oh, what are you doing with those? Why'd you do that? And I'm like, oh, I guess I grabbed the box. I didn't realize it was a box of 8. I mean, I'll just give them 4 when I get down there, and I'll bring the other ones back. And they were like, no, sit over there. And they called like the office company. Dude, I went outside. I started breaking stuff. I mean, I have a problem. I mean, no doubt. But I was furious because they thought I stole something. And I am not that I have many problems and many flaws and many issues myself. I really do. But I am very, very honest usually.
Yeah, it's a huge pet peeve to be labeled as a liar or someone that's not trustworthy. I can agree wholeheartedly there.
So the other thing that makes me mad is when, if I were to see a white kid go to get something from a store and basically be told like, oh yeah, here's a coupon, and then the guy's like, well, the sale is over. Oh well, I'll just give it to you anyway. Okay. And then a black kid comes in, same thing, and then the store be like, oh yeah, the sale's over, and the kid be like, oh, you sure? Yeah, the sale's over.
He's denied that same service.
That pisses me off. That drives me nuts. Like, you gave that other guy, and even if it was 2 white kids or 2 black kids, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just don't like that. I hate it. So my point is, I want to call it out. I know that, and then you get the people that say, oh, 2 wrongs don't make a right, or you're just as bad. No. I'm going to show you what you're doing to people. I'm going to show you what you've done, you stupid snowflake, SJW, crybaby, bitch bags, you assholes that have gotten a goddamn friggin' trophy or a friggin' certificate of participation your entire lives, so you think that you just cry about something till you get it, or you can't believe when you don't get what you were told or what you thought you were supposed to have. So the point is that if you cry like a bunch of bitches, and then you do the same thing, or the same sort of things happen to white people and nothing gets called out about it, fuck it, I'm done. It's over. I'm calling it out now. You want to play that game? Let's play that game all day long. Now you can see how ridiculously stupid you guys all are for canceling crap and being annoyed and crybaby crap. Now it's happening to Netflix. Now it's happening to you. Now you've elected fucking Donald Trump. That's what you've done. Bernie Sanders is not a savior. He ran away and didn't stick up for the DNC. Stop perpetuating that lie. And here's the other thing, Jake. This crybaby culture is everywhere. Forget black, white, colors. Forget race. Throw race out the window. Let's use wrestling as an example. Let's use professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, if you're not aware, the WWE created their own Netflix. It's called the WWE Network. And and now we know wrestling is scripted, right? So whenever a wrestler or something doesn't go people's way, or perhaps the audience enjoys something and they don't get their way, massive amounts of people cancel the WWE Network, and it trends all over Twitter. Cancel the network, cancel it. I'm mad, I'm angry, cancel the whole thing. This is actually part of our culture now with everything. It's the
Yeah, because it's consumerism. The best way to speak your voice is to show with your dollar.
right. Even though you're getting like crazy content that years ago it would cost $60 a month to get one live show a month. Now you're getting every show that ever happened and the live show a month for $9.99. That's how much it costs. But people are now canceling. If the network existed like 10 years ago, like nobody would cancel. They would make millions of dollars because our mentality has changed on the internet. The social media, it's become a pitchfork, like a hunt. What's the word?
A witch hunt. Yeah.
It's
People want to protest,
crazy.
though. You got that exactly right. I mean, we saw it when Trump was elected. We saw it when, the Supreme Court decided on gay marriage. We've seen it for non-political issues, as you said online with, the results of a wrestling pay-per-view. It's all over the place. People like to revolt. It's in our nature. It's part of our culture. And especially nowadays, society grasps towards confrontation and basically not a way to stick it to somebody, but that's what they're looking for. They like to incite and have people agree with them. Everybody wants to feel justified. I'll give you a little example, too.
Yeah.
Not even so much example, but a little history. 16 years ago, Matthew Hale, the national leader of the World Church of the Creator, he's one of the most popular white supremacist leaders and also the leader of the KKK at the time, came to my hometown. He was here because the mayor refused to pay workers for the city, the town, for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. He didn't view it as a holiday. So the KKK thought it would be, fertile grounds to spread their ideas and come here to basically hold a town speech. And everybody that disagreed with this, which was 99% of the town, had gone, and I too, joined in to protest at the local library. And it turned into such a boiling point for so many people. Before Hale could even speak, he had plants basically in the audience that would get people worked up, and he had supporters go in and work up people that were standing against him. So all the protesters ended up getting tear gassed and pepper sprayed. It was an awful sight. But just that point of good, people still trying to stand with their black brethren and fight against oppression, it still broke down into a riot. It still, it ended up being a failure essentially at the end of the day, because he had felt that he had won because everyone broke down into a violent rage. And I see that today online. We're not really getting anywhere with these violent protests and immediately trying to cancel our subscriptions and, destroy what we hold dear.
Well,
and that's why I said before, I fail to see how it's going to get better anytime soon.
the other problem is what people don't understand. Everybody wants to be validated now, too. Everybody wants to be validated in their opinions. And the thing is, you will always be validated because there will always be a bad portion. There'll always be a bad group of white people. There'll always be a bad group of black people. There'll always be a bad group of police officers. There'll always be there'll always be bad in everything. So if you want to get outraged about the bad, you're always going to be outraged. We can use what we did here today as an example. All of Netflix is awesome. We love Netflix. But this one video says, "Dear white people," and it's the one thing that we maybe consider bad. And now we ostracize Netflix as a racist company when they're not. They just they sort of made a ill-timed title mistake, I think, which is...
Yeah, the way that the trailer was edited doesn't even properly represent the show, the characters, or the themes behind what's going to be talked about. It's literally just the way this one trailer was made to look. And like I said, if that was done intentionally, then they probably got the attention they were so desiring.
Yeah, so
buzz is everything, and there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Right. So we've basically we've become exactly what we're upset about, right? Like we're we're talking about ostracizing stuff, and it becomes fun to jump on the bandwagon. So is that what's really going on? It's like, oh, we're I'm upset at this for happening. Let's go crazy now. I mean, we are having some fun with it, and if you ask me my personal thoughts, it's like that's why I haven't canceled Netflix or any of that other stuff. I made a joke. I've made jokes about it, but that's the thing is a lot of people make jokes and it starts to snowball, and this is how things go. I think Netflix made a mistake, just like MTV. MTV flat out made a huge mistake. I don't even want to get into that. We already covered it. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We got to get on to more stuff, but there'll be more videos coming. I hope if you enjoy the content, you can subscribe down below. I have a few different channels on YouTube that don't involve this type of talk. You know, that's we just started Shame on News as a side thing to keep it off my other channels. But if you want to support what I do as a whole, feel free to go to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. I have a lot more time on my hands these days. And I think we covered it well. If you want to follow the Twitter and tweet us any news or questions or whatever, at Shame on News is the Twitter, is where to go. My regular Twitter, at Joe Cronin Show, was suspended by Twitter because I made a joke. I tweeted MTV and said, "Why do you hate white people, MTV?" And then my account was suddenly suspended. 37,000 followers on YouTube gone, all because I made a tweet like that. So you can see the power that Twitter has and the way they want to silence people. That being said, my new Twitter is at Joe Cronin JCS, but at Shame on News is where you really want to go to reach topics like this. Jake DeMarco at Countdown Ended on Twitter. And I hope you guys, if you haven't seen my other videos, go back and watch a few of them. And hope you can subscribe. That will be the biggest help of all. And we'll keep doing videos like this for you every day. There's some videos you can watch right now. If you haven't seen them, check them out. They're going to be, I think they're pretty good. I think you'll like them. And hopefully soon I won't be sick anymore either.